can already hear the kites calling. You hear that? I'm looking forward to this. It's gotta be good. There's just so much bird life here. So I'm just getting set up here in the red kite hide. Just trying to do a couple of images in flight, just kind of get my settings right. And there's some feeders just outside here as well. We got a few chaffinch, tits, and there's also a tree sparrow. I think these kites know what time it is. Oh, it's starting to show up now. There's about 19 circling now. About the same as last time. And it's about 20 minutes till food time, so they know. I've set up my custom mode so that they're all set up for capturing birds in flight. So I have a high shutter speed, 1600, and I've changed the light. I used to have the ISO much higher, but it's quite bright today, so I've set it to ISO 400. That should give me a 1600 shutter speed, roughly that, and then I can tweak it as I go. And then I've set up C2, which is, well, C1 is the focus system where I have one in the middle, but I can toggle between, maybe use a group of 4 or 5, and that will work when it's up in the sky, but as soon as I get darker background in the woodland and stuff, I'm not sure if it'll be that good. So I like having just one. But then C2 I set up to exactly the same except for the focusing mode, where I have one focus that tracks the subject. So theoretically I should be able to hold the same composition, whereas this the camera will pick up the subject and track it as it moves around my frame. I'm testing that tracker out to see how well that works. And finally, I'll set up C3 as a panning mode, so I've turned off the image stabilization and a very low shutter speed. But since it's so bright today, that's probably not going to work. Last one, I got Pro Capture mode. Now Pro Capture mode is quite an interesting one, because that's going to take images before I actually press the shutter. So I think in theory it works that when I have pressed the shutter, or in my case I use the back button, focus button, it will continuously take photos, but it will delete them as it goes. But then when I press the shutter, it will have saved, I think it's the last second or something like that, of frames. So what I'm hoping for is that these red kites are just over me now. It's going to do some grappling, and hopefully then, as long as I have them in my frame, and I, very often I'm gonna, because it's so fast. So hopefully then, when I press the shutter, it will have saved those last images that I took before I pressed the shutter. I might be able to capture some of that. So I'll let you know how I get on with that. And I'll probably be very busy just trying to capture everything, switching between the modes here, because everything happens really fast. So I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to point this out the field and just film what's going on here, while I'll just kind of try and capture as much as I can. So wish me luck. I tried to use the Pro Capture mode, which takes images before I press the shutter. Unfortunately, I don't think my memory card is up for it. After I used it, it buffered for a long time. I think there's a specific, I know there's a specific minimum how fast that memory card needs to be, but I wanted to give it a shot anyways. I might try it again for some grappling afterwards, but that meant that when I used it earlier, that meant that I missed quite a few images after that. Other than that, I found that the best focusing method for me was just using the one point in the middle. I tried out with the kind of tracking one as well, but it wasn't quite up for the task. Maybe they're a little bit too fast in flight, so it might work for other subjects, but for this anyways, it wasn't ideal. The Pro Capture mode though is really interesting, but I would need to invest in a much faster memory card to be able to take full advantage of it. And when you flick through it, it's taken quite a few images there, but it takes it'll take a bit of experimentation to get used to that, for sure. So it's probably not something it might not be something I'll manage to do very well while I just have it, because I won't have it that much longer. Now, in contrast to the 7D Mark II though, when I was using the 1.4 with that, trying to capture birds in flight, I just didn't stand a chance. I just took it off immediately. But now trying the 1.4 extender here on this 300mm lens, still getting very sharp images with fast moving subject. That's really good, because that means that I can blur out that background even more, get a bit closer to some of these birds. I didn't use it in the beginning because there was just so much going on and I wanted to try out the Pro feature and all that instead. But now I have it on, and I'll probably use that for the remainder in case we get some of these kites back. I find it really incredible how far reach I have with this for such a lightweight system. That's me using the 1.4 extender with the 300, so that's 420mm, but then I cropped to so 840 when you crop it, and enough stop of 5.6. Just giving me incredible reach. And I don't have the heaviest system to begin with, but this is even lighter. Now, another thing about this is that it's an absolute joy to film with. The Canon 7D Mark II, shooting video is a nightmare because the autofocus is so bad on the video and it keeps just missing that I have almost no chance of filming consistently steady flight footage. Whereas here, just the tracking of this thing is perfect, and I could just follow the red kites in there and it wouldn't lose traction. And that was just on the whatever normal, I think it's like a grid or something like that, and it would just pick up the kite, not lose it. Oh, the light is so good right now. Oh, grappling, but it's too high. Some grappling going on there, but I don't know if I was quick enough. Oh. Some acrobatics there, but I don't know. Not quite good enough. Alright, time to pack this up. It's been another great day here at Argaty, and just finish it up now in the red kite hide. And just to remind you as well, I'll put a link below, so in case you want to book these hides, they are available. Not very far north of Stirling, straight off the A9, and that's where they're located. And it's a fantastic place, and just so much wildlife, so many small songbirds, red squirrels. You got the red kites here. It's a brilliant place, and it's been really good to come here and try out the Olympus with a bit more controlled conditions. I don't have to worry that much about the wildlife. That just takes care of itself because it's already here, and I can just focus on the camera. So that's been really good, and yeah, it's New Year's Eve, so I'm going to wrap it up now. It's been a long day, and now I just want to go back, get ready to head out, go to Stirling Castle for the New Year's Eve celebrations and fireworks and all that. So I will not be able to edit this before New Year's, so it'll be 2020 when you guys see this. Hope you guys had a great New Year's, and best of luck for 2020, and I'll see you in another video.